The original Metal Gear from 1987 on the MSX heavily themes its music around military marches, splicing them together with the tension of spy and sneaking movie soundtracks like The Great Escapes. But the biggest influence/comparison that needs to be made here is to John Carpenter, and specifically his OST for the text of all things Metal Gear, Escape from New York. Like most games outside the arcade in the late 80s, most, if not all, the instruments in Metal Gear's chiptunes are monophonic digital synthesizer parts. These were played by Konami Kukieka Club, meaning Square Wave Club, Konami's in-house sound and soundtrack team. The interplay between thrills and tension we see in the gameplay is perfectly matched by Metal Gear's music, but songs in the series weren't really tuneful before 1990's Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. This game honestly had some of the best music for its era, a shame it never came out as a contemporary release in the West. But a version is available along with MGS3 Subsistence, which you should definitely really play if you haven't already. Like Final Fantasy, another story or drama-heavy series from Japan, Metal Gear, beginning with Solid Snake, used music to handle the emotional labor that words could never achieve, selling us on the scenarios and storytelling almost as if by hypnosis. We come out of the gate with a hype as fuck track called Theme of Solid Snake. It starts out so fast-paced you might think it couldn't get any more bonkers. But just wait. 27 seconds in. We hear 3 parts at once. Already, Solid Snake's sound is more musically complex than its predecessor. In the original game's score, there were bass parts and multiple tones at once, sure, but mostly these played notes in unison, giving Metal Gear 87 a chunky, military step sound. While the mid and low end of the spectrum in the opening of Theme of Solid Snake handle rhythm, the treble or high-end range synth's notes are held, making them more melodic than percussive. In fact, these notes give the song its sense of tunefulness. These are what you'd hum. There is an entire minute and 46-second long build-up, a sonic armament, if you will, before the bomb-like explosion of the song's bananas-ass climax. This is all to give you an idea of the quality of Solid Snake's songwriting. The game, not the guy. Not every track is so high energy, though. There are pensive, stealthy moments in Solid Snake, and there are also sad, moving ballads. Yet again, the sound and game for MG2 were inseparable, short of losing something vital. This and then some would hold true, as we'll see next time, in 1998's Metal Gear Solid. In between the MSX Metal Gears, Kojima worked also on Snatcher, a cyberpunk adventure game that first debuted on the PC 8800 series in 1989. The game would be ported and remade across multiple platforms, and the music, being a crucial element that worked off the hardware, transformed with it. Though there are exceptions, for the most part, the best version of Snatcher's soundtrack is on the Sega CD. The jump from floppy disk to sleek digital disc came slightly ahead of the CD console curve. It was a big deal during what was then known as the multimedia revolution, that the Sega CD was like a cutting-edge games machine and CD player combined. To showcase this in an unmistakable yet immersive way, Snatcher on the Sega CD used a completely new opener. While the original versions on PC-88 and MSX2 both opened up with Twilight in Neo Kobe, this Snatcher opened with the rollicking One Night in Neo Kobe. which may be a reference to the 1984 club hit One Night in Heaven.
One night in heaven, one night in heaven.
What made One Night in Neo Kobe a showcase for the console's CD technology was, of course, the saxophone. Of all the instruments, saxophones are among the hardest to synthesize. This sax lead is really being played by a studio musician. And even though the soundtrack is pre-recorded, it retains the right feel for a game of its era. Importantly, the song Joy Division is a musical allusion to the band New Order, who came out of the band Joy Division. Next time, we'll be looking at the PlayStation classic Metal Gear Solid.